Alright. Good little metal finishing on this. I'm trying to get the rest of this little area to come all the way down. So I'm going to stretch these corners and flatten this out a little bit and see if we can't get that to do that without having to keep this edge and beat on it. So let's see how this works out. I'm actually wanting this to come up a little bit. Hammer on, dolly. Stretching it. Alright guys, I think she's done. I think I was having problems with these corners meeting up. I had to pull it in that direction. This was the problem corner. You can see there, it's pretty much there. Just need to push down a little bit in there, but yeah. So Kevin, I know how much you love being right, and you were right. This worked. I had to massage all this stuff quite a bit. I stretched this a little bit with a hammer and dolly. I got this back to parallel because it was kind of running. This was kind of going down. That was kind of coming down at the same time, and it was just keeping this up too far. So I did some hammer and dolly and stuff and got it down where it needs to be. Now, don't be fooled, that wasn't a little work, that was a lot of work. That's taken, it's taken quite a while to actually get this thing sandwiched up like it really needed to be, or needs to be. And it took some, you know, creative thinking to get it to work. So, yeah, I don't know really what else to tell you. I need to put a clamp on this and pull it down just a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill holes. Now I'm going to put this all back together before I start drilling holes. But when I say get it all back together and everything put to where it needs to be and in place, then I'm going to come back and I'm going to drill my 3/16 holes and put my washers and sandwich all this together. That way I don't have to keep doing this over and over and over. I mean, it's going to land every time exactly where it lands, just like I did these. And so there's no guesswork there. I just put it until the holes line up, drop it in, sandwich it together. Same with these. No more guessing wherever it needs to go. It's where it needs to go. So now this is where it needs to go. Once I get it in the car, get it locked down, make sure everything's good, I'll go ahead and drill those holes and do the same thing as I did there. Yeah, that's not for the faint of heart. If like I always say, if you don't like hard work, this is not a hobby for you. This is hard work. I sweat a lot, and I'm in a climate-controlled room, so you can imagine doing it outside in your driveway. But to get that done the way it is right now, I had 3/4 of an inch gap on the other side between this area and the bottom in the rocker. And I was able to manipulate that by bending around on that flange and stretching the flange and doing all that enough to get it to suck down, which I would have never dreamed that would happen. I just couldn't wrap my mind around that, but Kevin kept going, no, if you keep working it, he said, keep working these edges, and you know, he said, it'll come down, I promise you. And man, I wanted to tell him to go get bent several times on this thing, but I stuck with it, and there it is. It worked. I'm not much into kissing ass, but Kevin is pretty amazing. He has this stuff down like, I mean, I have no doubt he could go work for the Roadster shop, which is one of the best, highest end shops I've ever seen. And I have no doubt he could go work for him tomorrow and probably make a lot of the guys that work there look like, you know, I don't know, not make them look bad, but you know, I mean, just he's that good. His critical thinking skills, on and on and on. So I just can't say enough about the guy. He just put out a video. His channel's called Barb, and I'll put a link in the description. And I'm going to give him another shout out, because if you guys are not subscribed to this guy, and he doesn't make a lot of videos, but he's just damn good at what he does. Damn good at fabrication. He's taught me, he's changed my game. He's changed the game for me completely. You know, I know people are like, man, it's taking forever. Yes, but when it's done, it's going to be a piece of artwork. It really is, because of him, not because of me, because of him, because he's just that guy that makes sure everything fits right and tight. He wants the gaps tight so the welds are tight. There's no, you know, it's awesome. And there's days I get lazy and I'm like, I don't want to do that much work. He's like, well, do you want it right or do you not want it right? And I'm like, well, yeah, I want it right. Well, then you're going to have to freaking do it the way I'm telling you. And he's right. It works. Could I get away with this in a shop where, you know, you get paid, you know, customers wanting you to have it out yesterday and all that kind of stuff? I don't know. I don't know if they can take the time to do that or not. And maybe they have other tools that could get this done faster. He said he made a buck for his, and if you don't know what a buck is, it's not a deer. You have to look it up, but basically it's made out of wood, and he reformed and reshaped a lot of this stuff, and I'm sure a lot of it's in his videos. You just take the time, and I've examined his videos over and over and over, stopping and pausing on certain pictures, because he makes picture videos. And so you can look at that what he's done and just look at the tools he's using, look in the backgrounds. Okay, he's using this and he's done this and he's holding it with this, and it really is roadster shop type work, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. But I've watched a lot. I've been doing this for years and been watching a lot of body videos. I watch a lot of the roadster shop videos because they're cutting edge, top of the line, and I want to know what the best of the best are doing, because I want to be as close to that as I can be. Now, I'll never be like that because I don't do it every single day, and I don't do it day in and day out, and I don't have a lot of the resources like English wheels and freaking shrinker stretcher, big badass ones and all that kind of stuff to where I can sit and make this stuff, but like they can. But I'm going to do the damnedest that I can do out of this shop. Anyway, a little heads up for you that I'm finally done with that. I'm going to roll that back into the car, made it back together, get my mini tubs in. I've ordered that outer wheelhouse, and so that'll be coming in the next, I'm going to guess, 3 or 4 days anyway. And so I need to go ahead and finish these up and get those set up for closing them out. I probably won't close those out until I get everything mocked up and know it's exactly right. And I'm going to have to blow all that apart again because I'm going to have to epoxy this inside, which is great because I've got this cleaned up for the most part. I haven't done a lot of grinding or anything, so I can literally take this back apart and clean it and either sand it or blast it outside, one or the other, and get it in full epoxy. And so get it to where we're getting close to making this all back together. So also another thing I'm going to do, if you guys, I think I mentioned this, there's a box that ties these two together and it's over there in the floor. Finally got it out. But this is a heavy ass box right here. That's 1/8" plate steel, and that's going to go in between my frame rails. Frame rail goes in here, frame rail goes on the other side, and it welds to the rails. So this is another stiffening piece. And also your coil springs go up in there for your your four-link suspension. Your coilovers go up, if I'm looking at it right anyway. But yeah, I'm going to do that too while it's out of the car before I make this all back up, because it's just going to be easier. I'm going to have cleaner welds because I'm not laying upside down and da-da-da-da. Well, I say that. I guess I will. I'll be sitting under it probably welding some of that, unless I can figure out a way to flip the whole thing up, which I guess I probably could flip it up on its side at some point once it's tacked in. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to really play with that. Maybe put some pallets and stuff under one end of it. That is not heavy. This is not heavy. Literally, I can lift this car up in the front off this frame machine, or not frame machine, but I can literally pick this car up. It doesn't weigh anything. It's amazing. And there's just not much left of it though. But same with this. When the car's separated, it's not that heavy. I mean, you can literally lift this thing up off the ground. Hell, the heavy part is the frame, the jig itself. So I may be able to figure out something where I can flip that up and weld it and get some nice welds without having to lay underneath it or sit underneath it and weld upside down, which I can do, but I'd rather not. So, and then welding up here will be really awesome, instead of having to lay in the trunk of the car and trying to weld that up. So that was kind of my plan with this thing anyways, to make this a little bit easier on me, being that I'm 50 years old and not a real big fan of crawling around on my knees on the concrete and all that kind of stuff anymore. But I will if I have to. So all right guys, well, I'm gonna made this video long, so that's going to be it for now, and if I could get anything else done, I'll bring you back. See you. All right, I got it all back together again. Looks like everything's fitting pretty good. The main thing I was trying to get was that firewall, the floor pan fitment, and that, because the rest of it pretty well stayed the same. So I'll give you a look at that. You can see down in there it's fitting pretty nice. Comes up, needs to be clamped together there in the center, but other than that, not bad. My problem area down there, you can see it's fitting real nice. Matter of fact, if I loosen this clamp, it doesn't move much, so that's a good thing. Everything else seems to be lining up pretty good. Hopefully I'm holding that right, but I'm gonna give you an idea. I can't see what I'm seeing there, but got these back lined up. These back in. This little dude will go right up in there like that, and that will weld up to that, or actually it might go something like that maybe. That's that closeout panel. And this will suck up a little bit more. You can see I pulled that one up with the ratchet strap, but so pretty happy with it, the way it is right here. So my next step is to go ahead and drill my 3/16 holes down through there. I actually probably need to put another clamp. I guess I got one there. I need to pull one up here, I think. Anyway, yeah. So we're getting close to doing some finalizing with some bolts, and then I got to blow everything back apart and prep it for weld and all that. So, but once I get these holes and everything back in here, and I know it's going to line up where it's supposed to, and I might even be able to go ahead and weld this together out of the car, which would be great. But I just need to make sure that that's going to stay exactly right where it is. I don't have any more issues, but I'll double check this when I come back in next time, and after I'm not so stinking tired. So, but yeah, a lot of work. All right, guys.